Good evening everyone and welcome to my live stream again. Today I'm going to do some real highway tutorial about building a real highway interchange, and maybe I will show something from Project Symphony. Now, what are we going to do today? We're going to build a simple Cloverleaf interchange. Yay! Now, first I just laid out a stretch of real highway, just, well, for the demonstration. Just doing some preparations and some here. Right. Now, that's easy. Now, these will join up right in the center. We need to put some rims over here soon. So it's yeah, we are. Yeah. Yes, it's working. So build a real highway right through the middle. Okay, and I think the north-south one is going to be our lower deck. Well, let me first show the quick and dirty method. We just need some elevated ramps here. Don't worry if the override is passing through the lower section of the real highway. That's just normal. So I picked the level 2 type D1 exit. You can use the real highway elevated real highway 4 type A1, but I'm more fond of this one. So right, and you plot 4 like these. Oh, you need some on the low deck also for the Cloverleaf. You start actually with the inside bit first, and then you go more to the outside ramps later, because you have to make sure the inside ramps fit within the outside ramps. Oh, that was not what I wanted to do. Last. Something went wrong here. Yeah, fixed it. Okay. What? Did I just? I need to run down. Okay. Yeah. It is right. Last override is improvement. I'm going to fix it later. Right, now we're going to put some transitions here. So like this, the ground to elevated real high. Remember, this is the quick and dirty method. You can do it much nicer, but it will cost more effort to do that. And this is just a simple and pretty compact way to build Cloverleafs. Okay, now, I think I'm first going to fix this. Okay, now we start with the curved ramps, and we use the ground to elevated curves transitions from the MIS. So like, oh, this is the startless form, and to the keep an eye on the direction of the ramp, because otherwise it won't work. So look at this one, has some arrows, so you can see in which direction it goes. Well, it's the American textures. You can have a great distinction between the what is the inside and outside lane with the yellow line, but with the Euro textures this is quite much harder. So you actually have to keep the eye on the white shoulders, which should be on the outside. Right. Okay. put in some smooth curves, so it's not completely a dirty method, because, well, it actually leaves room for curved ramps, for nice curves. And I think I have to demolish this first, because otherwise I can't place the smooth curves because the steps are in the way. So I have to really pay attention to which side the wide shoulder lane is. Like this, and yes, that's right, and like this, and this, and this. Right. Now we're going to place vector ramps, so use the tab key to change through the ramp interfaces, and like this, and yeah, okay. Now, okay, we have the actually been managed within 5 minutes to get Cloverleaf ramps, but we need to outside ramps too. So what do we do? Let's see, what's the tightest diagonal I can drag here? Yeah, this is one of the tightest. You only have to drag one ramp like this, and you can match the other ramps with the ramp setups. Okay. I usually use type D. Oh, I think the starters are in the way here. Always check for the starters if you build these things, because they tend to don't override when you would try to plop a ramp on it, because the starter itself is in the way. In the earlier versions of Real Highway you can see the starter, but now with piece darkening and that sort of stuff, it's actually hidden quite well. So, and we have we've made a diagonal ramp here, so I use the type E1 ramp here too. Here, you can match this one up with this one, and you can match it this one with this one. The override tends to be contagious here, the Real Highway 6S override. And see, it can passes right next to the ramp I just placed there, just like this. And we place another ramp here, type E1, and we can match the other ramps like this, and that, and that. Oh, it's not far away enough. So like this. I had to plot. If I was doing things handy now, I would plot the other ramp here too. This, right, and within 10 minutes you can have very easy to construct Cloverleaf. This is actually the quick and dirty method, and for the quick part it is really quick. 10 minutes tops. So, what can we do now? I think I may have time to show a more sophisticated method, and therefore we have to tear down this, Cloverleaf that's actually working, but it's not the most safe one, because you have quite some short weaving lanes here, and we don't want that, or some people don't want it, especially with Dutch. Yeah, for the touch safety is everything, it seems, when it comes to road design. Okay. So, what are we going to do then is adding some collector and distributor links. Okay. Just start checking these, just to match up where the overpasses come in. It's here too. Now, in contrary to regular Cloverleaf, the quick and dirty method, I started with the type A1, the elevator high 4. Actually, I would like to have the D1 variant, but that's not available yet. Oh, I see, I made a mistake here. Actually, the bottom needs to have. I would like, and again, I would like to have something like this or this, but then in elevated form. But that's not what. No, that's not available yet. So we have to deal with this. Do we? Oh, I see. I think I will use the Real 6D2 again. So I'm finding it more boring, but actually this is something people would like to see me doing sometimes. These building real highway interchanges, so I give them one on one now, and I'm in the mood for building like highway interchanges. Yes, just put one here for matching up, and to the more shits, so I can build this curve here. Right. Yep. This one. Yet. This looks quite like the quick and dirty method, but from traffic point of view, it's a bit safer because I see I made a mistake. But it's safer because you separate the main line with the weaving traffic, so the traffic that weaves there is only there for weaving, and which makes it safer because it doesn't hinder the main traffic who wants to travel right through the interchange. And safety is quite an issue, and it's also more relaxed when you drive through these. And it's common practice in the Netherlands. You don't see cloverleafs that are built in the other way. So, okay. Okay, was this an offering? Yes, it's one offering. 2, and we need to go off on the ramp here and here. So now we need to build Cloverleaf ramps. We need to watch if the curve's going to match up. Like this. Here we have another one. This fits. And now we have to build some more ramps to accommodate, I think, to get everything linked up. Okay, so like this, and then we have to place some transitions like here, and it's best if you do that with the main line too, so you have all bridges side by side, which is looking aesthetically pleasing. Okay, and then we're going to do the same trick again with outer ramps. I think for another ramp type. No, screw it. I just go for this one. Nope, this doesn't match up. And I would like to match it up. But you already see this is already taking more space, but in the end it's more realistic. So this. And we're going to place it like no, not like that. And it's completely the wrong ramp. And D1. Let's see if my geometric eye is correct. So, like that, and we need some parts up, and then it's almost done. Because, contrary to the previous interchange, we need to join the outer line and the main line also. So, we first need to narrow down these roads. Yeah, I'm here. If you may ask for during this live stream. But may not look present, but I see what you're chatting there. So, right, place transitions here. And this one here. Oh yeah, we need some transitions here too. I'm going to leave the cosmetic pieces out for yeah, because I don't have much time now. I would like to spend more time on showing off some of the symphony parts, the new Project Symphony, which is actually Max's Highway revamp. Okay, so the type D2 exits like this, and here, and one here. Doesn't seem to be too stable yet, this whole interchange. I think project, darn. And the renders are already gone now. Fixing this up quickly. Yes. There are starters in the way. Sometimes. Right. And there we have. Oh. It's not complete yet. Scrolling. D2. And one here and one here. Dragging out. So. Seems that we are dealing with a starter here too. Where? There are bloody starters. Screw off my old interchange. I had to demolish them before I started with this. Should have done it. So this and I need to fix these contagious overrides. Right, and now we have a more decent looking Cloverleaf, because now it has here the main lines which are separated from the merging area where the traffic interchanges, and that's more safe design commonly found in the Netherlands. If we built a Cloverleaf here, but it's still a Cloverleaf with weaving, but right, and that's the instructions for today. And now for the fun stuff with Project Symphony. Now, what is it? With the normal real highway mods, you just tend to place a starter just like this. I often demolish it, and you drag it like this, and it's half by half, and drag it like this and this, and yeah, you can see me do it like that, but some new players have difficulties with it. But now we have the Project Symphony, which is basically, well, nothing new from the looks of it when you try to drag it, but when it's there, ta-da! We have something that looks like a real highway, but it's not a real highway, and you can quite clearly see this because this part is just using the text from the old texturing scheme, and this one already uses the Project 57 scheme, which is so it's actually up to date. JNamate started this, but I've contributed my modeling work for this. For instance, I've contributed the diagonal models and quite some of the org process, and I have contributed the, let's see, tap. Oh, I have to spread this first, and I've also the smooth curve. Do the nexus interchanges also work? Well, depends on what you mean with if they are working. Yes, they do work, but you can't really use them well because it just looks ugly. And I will demonstrate you in a few moments. So let's say we have here then standard nexus Cloverleaf, and if you plop it like this, oh wait, is that the elevator? Yeah, that was the this is the ground one, and you see it doesn't get overridden at all. But networking nexus highway. Well, that's another thing of Project Symphony. We are planning to use the ramps for something like the real highway. That is not ready yet. I hope we get it ready soon, so we can actually build some interchange with it. So without using the real highway mod for it. So. Let's see, but there's one, well, semi-functional interchange, and I have to use the real highway mod for that a bit. Let's see, it can transit with real highway mods like this. Just track it and to the other interchanges we've seen, but I have two roundabout interchange types. Let's see, we have the 2-lane roundabout, the two left roundabout. So this is the ground, okay, like this, and we have the 3 level here. We have the 2 level 2, like this. You have to. Now I have planned to do this roundabout as a level 1 variant, but I only have level 2 because, well, multi-height system isn't ready yet, and I don't have it here because it has some much coding to work out, and it's not ready to use it well. Even that means it's still in the testing stages. Okay. Okay. No, these roundabout interchanges are already constructed in parts. So we have to place the transition manually, and they do have I fixed it lately, but we have transitions. So this so this one is reversed and this one too. I have to work on those preview models again, because the arrows still show in one direction, which is I would have to watch the text now to see what the actual ramp transition is. That's really useful. Level 2 to level 1. And this one goes into level 2 to level 1. 1 to level 0 and 1 to level 0. Okay. Here we place some ramps too. If they want to, yes. Now they want to. And we place some elevated ramps here. In the future we'll be able to do this with Project Symphony ramps, which are basically just ramps you can place on this revamped Nexus highway. That's because it's you see these models are modified so they have a single barrier instead of a dual, but it doesn't really look nice because only one side has been done. Great. That's not. Normally this should be just a real highway transition. Just with a barrier. Let's see if it works on the other side. Oh. I have to look into this then. Oh, and how do you... this is how you connect the bottom thing, but you need to check out the Nexus highway just one time more, because otherwise, let me show you, otherwise it does things like this and you see a bit of a height shift, and this is actually to allow the side-by-side bridges to be built. Okay, this was just a short stream, and I think this will be clear with how you connect this one up. And one more thing, just let me show, because we have fixed this too. Oh, was the wrong way around. We actually can make this piece. And we have a nice transition to the avenue. Let's see. I have to make a step here so I can place my roundabout interchange back. There. This one. Oh, this. I don't hate that. Yeah, you see this is actually quite a nice transition, but yeah, medium. I need to change it for the aero textures, but that's a thing for later. And you match the rest up like the previous one, like this. Well, thank you for joining me because I have to go now, and see you next stream. This will be something different next stream. Bye.